Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A turning point for 1,000 Pound Sisters. For years, 1,000 Pound Sisters has held audiences in rapt attention, not because of glitz or glamour, but because of raw human drama, personal struggle, and transformation. The show follows sisters Amy and Tammy Slaton as they confront debilitating obesity, health crises, relationships, and the tenuous quest for meaning beyond their weight. As of now, the show has produced 7 seasons. But lately, fans have been abuzz. In the wake of Tammy's long-awaited skin removal surgery, rumors are swirling that season may 8th be cancelled or indefinitely postponed. Could this be the beginning of the end? Or is it merely a reboot, a reimagining of how the show tells the Slatons' ongoing story? This piece dives deep into that question, exploring the journey behind the skin removal, examining the hints that the show may not continue, assessing the stakes for Tammy, Amy, and the producers, and imagining possible futures. The context: from morbid obesity to radical transformation. To understand why a skin removal surgery might shake the foundation of 1,000 Pound Sisters, one must first grasp the magnitude of Tammy Slaton's weight loss journey and the physical, emotional, and logistical challenges that accompany it. A journey of extreme loss. Tammy Slaton's path is remarkable. Over multiple seasons, she has lost over 500 pounds. That kind of weight reduction is not just a physical feat. It reshapes identity, relationships, and the very narrative of one's life. Obviously, such massive loss often leaves behind significant excess skin. For many, that skin can cause health issues, rashes, infections, mobility problems, as well as psychological burdens, body dissatisfaction, self-consciousness. In Tammy's case, there had long been discussion on the show and off about qualifying for skin removal surgery. The surgery. What we know. In January of 2025, Tammy underwent a major skin removal operation. The surgery took about 8 hours and reportedly removed over 15 pounds of excess skin from her chin, arms, and lower stomach. That weight of removed tissue was not just cosmetic. It symbolized closure on one of the most visible vestiges of her former body. She opened up about her fears going into it. How terrifying it was to imagine confronting her body without that extra skin, and how emotionally charged the journey has been. On the show's season finale, the procedure was documented, giving audiences a window into her vulnerability, physical pain, and the emotional stakes of such a transformation. The rumor: Season 8 is cancelled. Fact or fanfiction? Amid the buzz over the surgery, a bold assertion has taken root in fan forums and entertainment media. That 1,000 Pound Sisters Season 8 is cancelled or will not happen because of Tammy's surgery. Some fans interpret recent statements from Tammy as confirmation of this. But how solid is the evidence? Is this more wishful thinking, misinterpretation, or grounded in real production decisions? What Tammy has seemingly said. Sources suggest that Tammy has hinted the show won't continue while she recovers from skin removal. Some social media posts and commentary imply she shared that Season 8 will not be happening after she recovers from excess skin removal surgery. But these statements are ambiguous, lacking direct quotes or official confirmation. One news summary puts it this way: Tammy hints 1,000 Pound Sisters season may 8th be cancelled after undergoing major skin removal surgery. Another piece frames it as drops bombshell announcement about the show's future. Yet another article, reviewing her weight loss and future eligibility, describes how Tammy all but confirms season may 8th not happen. But again, phrases like all but confirms are journalistic interpretations, not literal statements. In short, there is no publicly documented, unequivocal statement from Tammy or the network that Season 8 is cancelled, only hints, speculations, and interpretations. What the network and production say or don't, there is no clear, public confirmation from TLC or the production company that the show is ending. The official record shows the series has produced 7 seasons and is ostensibly last aired, present. The show's Wikipedia entry does not list a final season or cancellation. In entertainment media, the absence of a renewal announcement doesn't necessarily imply termination. Sometimes shows pause, quiet their development, or renegotiate contracts. Life and health factors, especially in a reality show centered on dramatic medical journeys, complicate renewal timelines. Furthermore, a critical factor is that the surgery itself was documented in the final episode of the current season, suggesting the show is still invested in Tammy's narrative and willing to integrate her bodily transformation into its content. If producers are chronicling this milestone, that suggests they still see reportage value in her journey. One entertainment news outlet frames it this way: Tammy finally completed her physical transformation, and our take on 1,000-Pound Sister Season 8 news follows that. But that is analysis, not insider confirmation. Why the cancellation rumor persists. Why do fans believe season May 8th be cancelled? A few converging forces fuel the speculation. Transformation as endpoint. The skin removal surgery could be seen symbolically as closing the arc of Tammy's transformation from morbid obesity to a new body. In narrative terms, a show built on the struggle with weight might lose its dramatic tension once that core conflict is resolved. Health and recovery. Performing further filming immediately after a major surgery would be medically risky. If Tammy needs time to heal without the pressures of production, that could delay or push out a new season indefinitely. Changing motivations. Once a person has passed significant milestones, their priorities shift. Tammy or her family might choose to step back from camera exposure or reinvent the show's format. Contractual or budgetary decisions. The network may weigh whether the show remains cost-effective or whether its viewership has peaked or declined. Media urgency and narrative closure. Journalists and content creators often prefer neat endings. A cancellation gives fans closure, hooks readers, and dramatizes the story so the rumor is appealing even if unconfirmed. In creative journalism like this, rumor frequently becomes narrative. But discerning fact from speculation is key. The stakes. What's gained and what's lost if Season 8 ends? If Season 8 truly is cancelled or paused indefinitely, the impact would reverberate in several dimensions: for Tammy, Amy, the production, and the fan community. For Tammy, a closing chapter or a new beginning? Ending the show at this juncture could allow Tammy to reclaim her life from the hypervisibility the cameras demand. After the extreme weight loss and skin removal, she may wish to live more privately, without having her body and health scrutinized for dramatic arcs. On the other hand, cutting the show short would leave loose narrative threads, emotional, relational, and practical, unresolved. Fans would lose access to her continuing journey, how she adapts socially, medically, romantically, psychologically. Are we to believe her transformation is complete? Or is it only a new beginning? She might also lose a major platform for advocacy. Being on a national show can drive awareness of obesity, surgical complications, mental health, and weight stigma. Without that platform, her voice could be quieter. For Amy and the Slaton family. Amy Slaton's life is also deeply tied to the show. Her own weight journey, relationship dynamics, legal troubles, and mental health are all part of the public narrative. If the show ends, Amy might lose the exposure that supports her platform for better or worse. Alternatively, she might be relieved of a camera presence that amplifies stress. The extended Slaton family dynamic, including Amanda, Misty, cousins, children, might also fade from the spotlight. Their stories, in many ways, depend on the instrument of 1,000-Pound Sisters to reach audiences. Ending the show could dramatically shrink their public footprint. For the producers and network, from the network's perspective, 1,000-Pound Sisters has been a property that delivers authentic drama, health narratives, and loyal viewership. But reality television is also expensive and unpredictable, especially when the cast's health is a major risk factor. If the show is cancelled, TLC loses a long-running franchise star. But some might argue that the show has fulfilled its narrative arc. The dramatic transformation has been achieved. Continuing beyond that runs the risk of diminishing returns. There's also the possibility of spin-offs or reformatting, for example, following other family members, shifting to life after transformation, or branching into advocacy or health-centered content. For fans and the narrative, from the fans' perspective, losing Season 8 would feel like an abrupt farewell. Many viewers emotionally invest in the Slaton's ups and downs. The disappearance of that ongoing connection would leave them in limbo. Narratively, the show has always been about continuity, seasons that build on prior episodes. Canceling now would feel like cutting the story midstream. That feels jarring to an audience accustomed to a serialized journey. Interpreting the surgery as narrative pivot. One of the deeper themes here is how reality television treats bodily transformation as narrative. In many ways, Tammy's surgery isn't just a medical event, it is a narrative climax. It's the moment at which the conflict of weight versus self is externally confronted and dramatically visualized. If we conceptualize the show as a story arc, we can imagine Act I early seasons, introduction of the problem morbid obesity, health struggles, family tension, identity conflict. Act II middle seasons, the journey, surgeries, therapy, weight fluctuations, personal growth. Act III late seasons, the culmination, final surgeries, reinvention, dealing with life after transformation. The skin removal could be seen as the climax of Act III. But in television, even after the climax, stories continue. There is falling action, resolution, new conflicts, and so on. If 1,000-pound sisters decides not to extend beyond that point, they might be opting to leave the story at the climax, a bold choice. Alternatively, they may wait and see how Tammy and the family evolve, filming from a more detached angle, less medical drama, more personal life. It's also possible the show will shift emphasis. Rather than weight loss as conflict, perhaps weight maintenance, psychological health, relationships, identity reconstruction become the new center. The risks and practical barriers to reviving Season 8. Even if producers or Tammy wish to continue, practical constraints might enforce a hiatus or effective cancellation. Some of these include medical recovery time. A major surgery requires rest, limited mobility, close medical monitoring, and likely follow-up operations or procedures. That's hardly compatible with the rigors of reality show production. Insurance, liability, risk. Filming someone recovering from surgery introduces liability risks. Production must consider insurance, safety, and potential medical emergencies. Authenticity fatigue. Part of the draw of the show was the drama of weight loss. Once that core tension diminishes, sustaining viewer interest may require reinvention, which is always risky. Contract and compensation. The Slaton family may renegotiate terms, decline new contracts, or request changes that the network may not greenlight. Narrative saturation. Viewers have followed the journey for years. The story might feel told. The show may reach a natural endpoint, public perception and privacy. After such intimate medical revelations, Tammy and her family may want to step back from the spotlight and reclaim boundaries. What if Season 8 is canceled? What happens next? If the show officially ends, several possible paths might unfold. One final special or farewell retrospective. The network might produce a farewell special, a retrospective that revisits key moments, gives updates to each family member, and offers closure. That's a common method to gracefully close reality series. 2 spin-offs or related projects. Rather than ending entirely, 1,000-pound sisters might branch into spin-offs, perhaps focusing on Amy or following the Slaton's lives post-show, for example wellness programming, personal growth series, advocacy. The brand is still strong. 3. A quiet life pivot. Tammy or Amy might shift to social media, writing, speaking engagements, or smaller-scale documentaries. The network might even license a documentary or streaming special that revisits their progress episodically. 4. Hiatus, not cancellation. It's possible Season 8 is only delayed. The show may pause while Tammy recovers and returns later, perhaps with a new tone or format. 5. End of televised narrative, continuation via social platforms. In the modern age, many reality stars continue their journey outside of television via YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, etc. Tammy or Amy could continue documenting their lives without the constraints of a full TV production. What fans and critics are saying. The rumor of cancellation has ignited debate among fans and entertainment writers alike. Some argue it's a natural endpoint. She's lost all the weight, had the surgeries, now the show has nowhere else to go. Others push back. Transformation is never complete. Maintaining a new life brings as many challenges as losing weight. Critics question whether the show's premise inherently hinged on weight reduction and whether it can evolve. Some express concern about turning a human's life into a spectacle and the toll it takes. In fan forums, many lament the idea of no season 8. For them, the show was more than TV. It was a connection, a mirror, a source of emotional investment. Losing it feels like losing a long-running friend. Yet there's a hopeful strain. Some voices say this moment could free Tammy from performance pressure and allow her to live with more dignity. They frame cancellation as liberation rather than loss. Reasons why cancellation would make sense. Conversely, why it might be unwise. We can explore both sides of the ledger. Reasons cancellation or indefinite pause might be reasonable. The show's original tension, radical weight loss, is reaching diminishing returns. Continuing beyond that might feel repetitive or forced. Tammy's health and recovery might not accommodate filming pressures. The Slaton family might wish to reclaim privacy after years under a national spotlight. The personal growth narrative shifts from external struggle to internal maintenance, less dramatic visually. Renewal risk. If audience interest declines, the network might cut its losses. Reasons it might be unwise to cancel. The story is not over. Weight maintenance, relapse risk, psychological adjustment, relationship changes, these are ongoing. The narrative value is still high. Many viewers remain invested. The show can evolve in format and purpose, from weight loss to life after transformation, from spectacle to inspiration. Canceling could alienate fans, tarnish relationships, and waste the goodwill the show has built. Even with the surgery, the journey continues. Health challenges, body shifts, mental health, identity redefinition. A hypothetical timeline. How events might unfold. To help visualize plausible futures, here is a hypothetical timeline scenario. Mid-2025, Tammy's surgery recovery proceeds. She rests, refrains from filming. No public announcement yet on renewal. Late 2025, producers meet with TLC. Negotiations begin. Tammy might test mobility, decide how she wants to appear on camera going forward. Early 2026. If the show returns, it may have a delayed premiere, new format, less medical drama, more lifestyle/rehab, or rebranding. Mid-2026. The new episodes drop. Fans watch with apprehension. Is it the same show or a reinvention? Alternatively, if canceled, a farewell special airs. The cast transitions to personal social content. The network leverages documentary specials or one-off updates. Reflection. The human cost of reality. One undercurrent to all this is the ethical tension inherent in turning real people's health struggles into entertainment. Tammy's decision to share her body, surgeries, emotional lows, and identity crises with cameras is deeply personal. If the show ends now, one hopes it is on terms that respect her autonomy and recovery. The medicine, the surgeries, the body, they aren't plot devices but lived realities with consequences. The speculation about cancellation reveals more about viewers' needs for narrative closure than guarantees about Tammy's life. From a human perspective, continuing the show might feel burdensome. Ending it could feel freeing or isolating. Ultimately, whether Season 8 proceeds or not, Tammy Slaton and her family remain real people with lives beyond television. Their health, dignity, and agency should matter more than ratings or story arcs. At present, there is no definitive proof that 1,000-pound Sisters has been cancelled. What is clear is that Tammy Slaton's skin removal surgery marks a major narrative crossroads. Whether the show continues, pauses, reboots, or ends, we are witnessing a moment of transition in TV, in the Slaton family, and in the larger cultural story about bodies, transformation, and recovery. If I were to bet, I'd lean toward a hiatus or retooling rather than outright cancellation. The producers are likely to wait and see how Tammy's recovery goes, how she feels about being filmed, and whether the show can evolve beyond spectacle. But until an official announcement lands, the rumor remains just that: speculation built from hints, hope, and narrative desire.